kind of fun. Squeak noise. Wake the farm up.
Yeah, Archive 1, Season 4, Episode 19. Subscribe. Got more coming.
Okay, well, my name is Kie, and I run a small business, a little tiny apothecary called Kie to Life Naturals. KIE, the number 2, lifenaturals.com is my website. And I really enjoy working with herbs. I'm a natural living consultant. I do make poultices, I make salves, I make all different types of oils, tinctures, you name it.
Yeah.
A couple cordials.
Wake the farm up.
All about real life connections with people. Come on. Here's a special Herbalist episode. Kie Johnson of Kie to Life Naturals. The elf goes and meets with Kie at the library, Westchester, Ohio. Talking about plants. She's an anthropologist too. What? We're talking about people and our connections with the earth and in our lives. Where are we coming from? Yeah, look, here we go. Special.
I don't even know where I am.
You are in Westchester, Ohio.
I know I'm in Westchester.
And this is North Point.
North Point.
I'm sorry, this is Center Point Library? No, Midpoint, I'm sorry.
I'll write that down.
It's Midpoint.
It's like
We're in Westchester, Ohio, recording at Midpoint Library, which is by far one of my favorite libraries in the area.
Right, here we go. And now that we're here, we're going to welcome everybody in. All right, everybody, let's give a round of applause for Kie.
Thanks, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, wake the farm up. So, Hope Day preppers everywhere, preparing for a hopeful future. And, amongst all that, we have all this, fun stuff going on in our world right now. But you're sharing with people not just products, but lifestyle choices and consulting in lifestyle choices that can help them, tap into their more natural selves and, get on a course of life that brings health and,
wellness,
wellness, and which is everything. And it's the whole idea, love your neighbor as you love yourself. So it definitely starts with loving yourself, because if you're a jerk to yourself, you'll probably be a jerk to your neighbor, right?
Absolutely.
If you're, so there's a lot. You have different cleansing mixtures, and you have the salves, as you had mentioned here as we were walking in, and you had the.
I have a beard oil.
Okay, I want to try that patchouli beard oil. She was
And
telling me about patchouli beard oil.
The patchouli beard oil is very popular. I have a hair growth oil. That is popular as well, because a lot of ladies like to use it as a hot oil treatment. Some ladies use it every day or every other day or 3 times a week, but it does promote hair growth. I use it myself, and this is all my natural hair. And it just works. I actually got into herbs. It was just really wild. It was like the art was inside of me all the time, and I didn't know until it decided to come forward.
Do you feel like there was a point or something that kind of is memorable that was a plant or an experience with a plant?
I have been shopping at this store called Clifton Natural Foods. Shout out to you guys. Since I was 17 years old. And I just started off buying a couple loose teas, and then mixing the loose teas, and then reading about the properties of the teas, and then on and on and on until I just got in this rabbit hole I'm still stuck in it today. Yeah. And so they sell loose herb, and I thought, hey, let me try my hand at it. They sell capsules. I'll make my own. Let me see. And I bought this book called Back to Eden. And I love that book. And then after buying that book, it took me on a journey to buy other books and to just do research. And then some things I knew, and I just didn't know how I knew those things. It was just it was like something inside of me just knew what to do. And it's crazy because I call that going in the lab. So when I go in the lab, I can just get the inspiration and I won't know what I'm making. I honestly don't, Andy. Like, I will just, it'll be a feeling of creation. Mm-hmm. It'll be a spirit of creation that comes over me. And I'm like, I have to create. And I don't know what I'm going to make. It is the herbs that dictate what I'm making.
Start telling you.
Yeah, they speak to me. And certain herbs will want more attention than others. And so that's pretty much how it is. Like right now, my favorite thing, we talked about this, my favorite thing right now is Life Everlasting. I love that herb. Some people call it rabbit tobacco. It smells, it's yellow, and it smells like syrup, like maple syrup. And I absolutely love it. It is wonderful for like broken bones, sprains, bruising, any type of skin ailments. It is just a fabulous herb, and you can drink it, you can smoke it, you can use it in a variety of ways. It does prolong life. Lots of people from the Gullah community, also known as the Geechees, which I was telling you, I'm Geechee, use this herb.
So it's native to like the lowlands and
South Carolina area. Yeah, okay. You can find it in other places like Tennessee, Georgia, but it's always like around nothing, like country areas. Mm-hmm. And it is just a fantastic herb. I had a really nasty scar. I was going to my favorite cousin's wedding, my first cousin. I was running up the steps because I was, of course, coming from work, and I wiped out and scratched up my knee, and it turned black. Mm. It turned black. Now it's almost right, but Life Everlasting has been helping it.
So, like putting it on in a salve?
I used an oil. I made an oil, nice. And I just let it cure for some months, and I just used it, and I haven't even been diligent with it, actually. I could have been way more diligent, but just in how I've been using it here and there, touch and go, it's really healing and it's lightening, and I'm so happy, so pleased with it. I mean, it looked atrocious. I was scared for a minute. But it's getting better, and
that's good.
I have to thank Life Everlasting for that.
Yeah, forevermore.
Yeah. I had there was a professor of mine in college. She was in Georgia, border of South Carolina area, and she had a nasty fall on a horse. She was bruised black and blue, and so there was a local medicine woman. She was a Geechee medicine woman, and she made her a tincture, and the tincture was Life Everlasting. And she made an oil, and she put the oil on her wounds, and within a day, the black and blue turned to like
clearing up.
Yeah, it was like a mild yellow,
like takes away some of the soreness.
Oh yeah. It penetrates deeply, and it takes away a little bit of the pain that's associated with that bruising. And like if you break a bone, it's kind of like knit bone. In a way, it's like
I'm thinking of Arnica too. A lot of times I'll go to that because it's really readily available in stores too, like pharmacies. You can walk into like your regular pharmacy and find some Arnica gel.
Arnicare, yeah, you can, and that is surprising. I feel like we've made a lot of progress since I first started this natural living journey many moons ago. The only place that we had, we had Clifton Natural Foods. There was a place in Milford.
Oh, yeah, was that the Harvest Market or something?
Yeah, because they sold smoothies and a couple food items.
Kombucha bar.
Yeah,
it's fun times.
There was Jungle Gems. That was about pretty much it. You could get a couple vegetarian, vegan items at IGA if there was an IGA in your area, but it was just few and far between. So I feel like to see Arnicare at Walgreens or at Target or just at a normal retailer, that is progress for us in this community.
Yeah. People opening up to the different magical medicines of the earth again in a way that, hasn't been, for a long time since the Industrial Revolution, and everybody just jumps right into this
big pharma.
Big pharma and the FDA, if they approve food
regulations,
it's food. It's like, okay, Twinkies, let's eat those. But those herbs, those need to be regulated. I don't know if you should believe in them. And
there's no proof that really works, that's healed anything, on and on and on with these herbs. And
Twinkies are okay, though.
As much red dye number 40 as you want. But just stay away from the herbs. So I feel like there has been a shift. As people are becoming more awakened and just becoming more aware of their surroundings and what is and what isn't for real in this reality, people are wanting to go back to a more natural way of life. And that's where I come in.
Yeah.
People that I love and care about, I always share, like, the better ways to eat. Like, try to not eat so much meat, please. Put more vegetables on your plate. Or if it's me and my nephews or something like that, you're having tofu and you just don't know it. That's it. You're going to have TVP, texturized vegetable protein, or some sort of meat substitute, and you're going to love it and not know.
Yeah.
And that's just what we're doing. My mother, thankfully, I was able to get her to become a vegan at the end of her life, and I was so thankful. She always wanted to do it, but because of my dad, she was like, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
That's not going to work. But she did it, and I was so proud and so happy that in her final days, she was able to just have a clean, healthy body. Just clean living. And it was really important to me to be the person to introduce it to her and to help her with that journey. So I was really happy about that. But I see our culture and our society moving back toward, they're kind of doing a repatriation, going back for natural living. And I'm so happy about it because Big Pharma and all the problems that come with that, we see what it's done to our society with all of the name brand drugs that I won't name, but that have destroyed our society. Excuse me.
It's okay.
But we now have people who are asking questions and wanting to be healthier and, understanding that your health is your wealth and moving away from materialism and moving closer to nature. And that makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Because that's good energy. It's just good, clean energy that we're sharing. And that's helping us to vibrate on a totally high vibration. And that just gives us love and light. And so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I love that. I love how just feeling that from outside of myself, that people are wanting to connect with nature, and wanting to connect with their nature. I love hearing about the plants working with you to create some of the things you're creating. It's not just like a human-centered situation here. We're looking at this whole ecosystem of things moving energy together. And of course, you're going to start tuning into these flows and getting these instinctual feelings about things. And, it's good to know as we remember these things. And
they're living beings and they have a say.
Yeah.
And so the fact that I can be tuned into them, I think that is crazy. I would have never thought my younger, unelevated self, I would have never thought that I would be on this journey. I thought I was going to be a lawyer living in New York and wearing business suits every day.
Wow. Okay. So I'm really curious, like some of the, like I know you mentioned the Life Everlasting plant, but some of the moments that, trajectory of being a lawyer in New York City, like moving around with your fancy briefcases and defending people and bringing justice, it's like you're working with plants and they started asking you to do all that, and it's this whole other journey. Like I'm just so fascinated, by how we all evolve and grow and adapt into the worlds that we're in, and, curious, just some of those things that, really got you excited. Like, is there any kind of moments or?
I remember, cool. When I was 12, I stopped eating pork. And I know. I stopped. So cool. Nobody made me stop. Uh-huh. It wasn't like we had a family meeting. No. I saw this lady. I went to school with this girl named Shannon. And I had never seen her mother before. And her mother came up to our school, our junior high school. And she was Muslim, and I didn't know she was Muslim. And I saw her, and she was dressed so beautifully, and she was gorgeous, just draped beautifully, and just her face was lovely, and her hair was covered, and she was covered everywhere. And she just looked beautiful. And I was like, excuse me, why is your mom dressed like that? And she was like, oh, she's Muslim. And I was like, can I talk to your mom? And she was like, well, yeah, I guess. And she gave me their number, and I called, and I started to study with her mom. And when her mom told me like one of the tenets of Islam is to not eat pork, I was like, I'm okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
And so then I started on that journey of not eating pork. And then I made my sister, who was 3 years younger, do it. And I was like, we're not eating that. It's not good for us. And she's like, what? No bacon? I'm like, nah, we're not doing that. So she didn't eat it anymore either. And then my parents were like, so both of you guys? And we're like, yeah. And so that's kind of...
So then they're like, okay, us too, I guess.
Eventually, yeah. Eventually, yeah. My dad gave more pushback than my mom ever. But
I mean, I can really relate in some ways. I kind of became vegetarian and kind of got thinking about what I was eating in my mental place when I was about 14. And for me, it was inspired by an older girl who picked me up and took me bridge jumping, you know, where you jump off into a creek.
Oh, yeah.
Off the bridge. I was so inspired by her. I had never heard of a vegetarian at 14. And that's just, you know, the world I grew up in. It's a little more common term now for 14-year-olds to have heard of a vegetarian. I mean, they make jokes about it in cartoons and stuff, right?
Yeah, now they do.
So yeah, like, just finding that on the way was intriguing to start thinking about it. And so, I don't know, I didn't have much access though, so I'd just be sitting there at the family table eating mashed potatoes with noodles and just like getting these carbs. Overloads.
Yeah. We love the carbs, don't we? That started my journey, Shannon's mom. So then I was like, okay, no pork. And then I was like, no beef. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, no chicken. And then I was like, I can do this. So at that time, I still had dairy and I still ate a little fish, but it was no poultry, no beef, no red meat, none of that. And then it just made me go deeper and deeper and deeper until I got to the point where I'm like, I don't need to eat any meat. I don't need any dairy. I'm not eating any fish. And my family was really concerned. They're like, you're dropping weight so quickly. And I'm like, nah, it's for the best. It's a good thing. Mm-hmm. And I was a black sheep forever because nobody knew what to cook for me. If we had a family gathering with the whole extended family, they thought they were doing me a service when they brought a vegetable tray. And I'm like, I want food, guys. So then that took me on a journey of learning how to use the herbs to properly cook for myself and other people.
That's so cool. So yeah. You're feeling this like change, you're thinking about it, and you want to like help them understand, and the plants are helping you understand even as you're learning.
Yes, yeah. Absolutely. That is exactly how it went. And it was just the coolest thing. It was like one day I woke up and I was this totally different person. I was just a nature-loving tree hugger who didn't eat meat or deal with any type of dairy products or eggs or any of this kind of thing, and who was making gardens and growing food and making medicine and making my own vitamins. And I don't know. It seems like I've always been this way, even though I know that I haven't always been this way. I mean, I started at a really young age, but yeah, I thought I was going to be a lawyer.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, then, these things just grow and grow on you until you realize things. Like I realized recently, I didn't even know it, but I've been studying different kinds of concrete mixes since I was like 18, wow. Either through experimental making something, or I don't know, I guess it all started with making straw bale houses and cob houses where you're making things out of clay and sand mixes. And then,
Oh, texture. So just messing with the texture.
Yeah, and like what will hold itself up through the different humidity and, what's going to crack, all these different things. And
yeah,
being in, I went to Ireland one time and I remember looking at the castles, and just looking at the mortar from like 600 years ago and be like, how did they make this? And looking it up and not thinking about it too much, but then all of a sudden one day it all comes back to you all at once. And you're like, wow, I really studied this concrete kind of thing pretty deep. Maybe I'll go learn a little bit more about it. And it's like, why? I don't know. Just, it's materials, like you're saying, it's like these textures, and we want to create things. And yeah, I've had that dream since a kid to be able to build houses that when we're done living them, they just turn into gardens instead of like piles of fiberglass and plastic and stuff.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome because it's serving our earth, and that's the goal. That is the goal, to serve the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And so these herbs, like right now, any dried herb, I can pretty much identify. And I know that I can because I was shopping for herbs one day, and there were herbs sitting on the counter, and so I was where you are, and the label was facing me, and there were customers in the store, and I've been shopping there since I was a young girl. So I'm like, oh, that's holy basil. Oh, that's this, that's that. And they're like, how do you know that? And I'm like, I've just done it a bunch of times.
Yeah,
and
the textures.
I can just look at them, yeah, and the smells, and
that holy basil at Tulsi is probably one of my favorite jars to open up. You know, you open it up and it's like, whoa, the whole room smells so good all of a sudden. Yeah.
I like holy basil. I love oregano. I don't know, this plant has my heart. Oregano is one of my things because I suffer with allergies. And maybe 30 years ago, this older man told me, like, yeah, you want to get you some oregano oil and put it under your tongue. It'll stop all that choking and coughing and sneezing you got going on. And I was like, yeah, right. Tried it and it worked. And I was like, is he serious? So that took me on my journey with oregano. And
love oregano, yes.
Yes.
Oregano,
yeah. And my daughter, she loves it as well. My daughter's 23, and so she lives by an oregano tincture. Lives by it. And always keeps it. She wants hers aged for at least 2 years. And
interesting. Your daughter likes her oregano oil to be, like, the herb to be in the oil for 2 years?
She wants the tincture to, she wants it to sit for 2 years.
That's pretty cool.
I'll shake it up. So right now she's on her last leg of some. I have some brewing, but I don't know what she's going to do. She's been using it very sparingly, so she might just make it.
Yeah.
She might just make it. But I make it for her so dark that it looks black. And it's a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Like for sore bones, sore muscles, oh my gosh, it is a powerhouse. Allergies, you can put it under your tongue, you can put it on your nose and like your T-zone and get so much relief. You really can. You can put it in water and hot water and put a towel over your head and inhale that. That'll give you relief. You can put a tiny bit of it in a neti pot with water, and that'll give you relief. I mean, there are just so many different ways to use it.
It's hot.
Oh my gosh,
Don't put it in the sensitive places, right?
So let me say that if you're using oregano, please be careful. It is a very spiced herb. It is extremely spicy. Even if you're taking, if you make your own and you're taking it orally, I've burned my mouth before with my own oil.
Right. In your mouth.
Just the oil. So yeah,
like
in my mouth. You
feel it for like a day.
It burnt the corner of my mouth. I got one of the drops like on the corner of my mouth and it burnt it. Dang. And I had to use, it was that strong. So I had to use Life Everlasting to get the burn to heal. Yeah. And so you can't see it, but yeah, it's very strong, but you can dilute it and you can still use it really, in all of the ways that I just said. It does wonders in a neti pot though. Few drops, dilute, oh my gosh. It's going to give you some clarity and some relief.
It's really antiviral, I believe.
It is antibacterial.
Yeah.
And microbial. So it gives you the triple threat there.
So you ever seen those, you might know this, but those, you'll see it in like steampunk artwork, the people that have like the crow mask or something, with the big beak. Yeah. The bubonic plague, I guess, is when they wore those masks.
I remember reading something about that briefly.
They would stuff it with oregano and rosemary and thyme, I believe. Or there might have been some other herbs, but that would make it so when you're around all the sick people, you're breathing through those herbs.
So this is funny. Thieves oil. Oh my gosh. One of my favorite things in life is thieves oil.
I'm going to take some of that.
I love that. But you're so funny. But that is how thieves oil was made. So the guys that were wearing those beak masks, well, there was a band of thieves, and it was 4 thieves. And everybody was trying to figure out how they weren't dying. They were stealing from people who were dead, and they were trying to figure out how are these guys not dying. They came up with that mixture.
Where your name came from.
Yeah, they came up with a mixture of herbs, and they realized that these herbs are allowing us to live and to not die. And so there's thieves oil. There's thieves vinegar, and you can make these yourself. But there's one that I like by Young Living that's fantastic, and Now has one, and it is called. Let's see.
It is a thieves oil formula, but they have their own.
They have their own. It's like Nature's Cure. It's called Nature's Cure, and I love it.
Cool.
It is just tremendous. Like, I use thieves whenever I travel out the country, and it has always served me well.
What do you know? What some of the
ingredients?
Some of the ingredients of the formula are.
There is sweet. There's sweet orange. I know there's oregano.
There's thyme. Yeah.
Rosemary. Let's look it up.
Yeah, we're gonna check that out for you all, so you can just relax and listen to
a powerhouse.
I'm saying rosemary and thyme and oregano.
I'm gonna give you the
very
exact
powerful herbs.
Recipe.
And those are all herbs that are very familiar for people too to work with. And you can grow those in most gardens in most parts of the world. They're desert acclimated Mediterranean kind of plants. They don't need a whole lot of water. They just, don't plant them somewhere that has too much water in the soil, honestly.
Okay.
Thieves oil. I've always wondered about that name, and
which is really
have
cool
not
because
heard anybody explain it.
See
to
the guy
me.
with the beak?
Yep, you look it up. There's a guy with a beak.
And so I am pulling up the recipe for it right now because I'm so bad I don't know it off the top of my head, and I should.
Yeah, we might plug that into the footnotes too.
It has clove and it's
cloves. That's it. That's one of the things that makes it really hot.
Clove, rosemary, eucalyptus.
Another hot herb.
Cinnamon.
Another hot herb.
Lemon. That's it.
I really like cinnamon. I like it so much that I planted a tree in my little greenhouse.
Nice.
So I can pull the leaves off, and you can make tea just with the leaves.
Oh my gosh.
With
awesome.
that blood cleaning properties to cinnamon and cayenne pepper are two herbs that I like taking in every day at some point. Just cayenne pepper is just natural on everything for me. It has to be spicy for me at this point.
I love cayenne, and that is my daughter's favorite thing. When I was breastfeeding, my mother would make me dump because I always ate cayenne, and she was like, that milk is too spicy for the baby.
Yeah.
And my daughter can't eat her food without cayenne pepper on it, which I thought was funny.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, kids are eating spicy food in India, Mexico, all over the world, and it's just here. Everybody's like, no, that's too spicy for kids.
Which is crazy to me because, as you well know, disease lives in mucus.
Mm-hmm.
And inflammation is, that kills our bodies. And people are eating hot herbs, spiced herbs, because they help to rid your body of mucus. So you get rid of the dis-ease.
Right. It keeps your circulation going too.
It does. That's why children in Mexico, that's why they're so used to having chilies in their candies, because it helps to keep that inflammation down.
Cayenne sprinkled on the watermelon.
Oh my gosh, it is my thing. Have you ever had it with tahini?
No.
So you have to do it with watermelon, and you have to do it with pineapple and mango. Okay. You cut them all three up, and then you get the tahini, and you sprinkle the tahini on there. Oh my gosh, delish.
Sounds so good.
It's so good.
And it's interesting how these foods work with, like you're saying, this instinctual feeling, like this tastes good, but it's a street food. There could be any kind of contaminants on it, but somehow the, spice makes it so it moves through us.
Yes.
And for me, I live out in tick country, out in rural Indiana, where I'm so used to pulling ticks off of me. It took a while to just be comfortable knowing that I got blood cleaners coming in. Any kind of bloodborne disease from a tick I might pull off of me is going to have a harder time in blood that has cleaners going through it regularly.
For sure.
Than dirty mucus blood.
Yeah, if
it's going to thrive in there and be like, yeah, we need to take this guy out of there.
They're going to want to stay there. But no, when you're taking herbs and, if you're, especially beets, people do not understand. Beets are a miracle food. They really are. I do miracle food.
Beats. Gotta have our beats.
They are. They really help to.
Sorry.
Beats.
Beat that one.
So no, they really help your blood to stay purified and clean. They really are good for your heart. And they really are just a lot of people don't know this, but in Europe and back in the day, they used beets to make beet sugar. And because, they didn't grow cane.
They still do that. I mean, a lot of the things that are labeled sugar now are from beet farms.
Yep, beet sugar. And it's a popular thing in some parts of the world, but here in America and the States, we aren't all that familiar with beet sugar. We're so used to the refined, not real sugar.
I'm spacing it because I'm not all high fructose corn syrup. That stuff.
That stuff. Yes, the death.
Yeah.
It is one of the deaths. And so
blood dirtifiers.
Yeah. So when you are in an area like that, hawthorn berry is going to be great for you. Eucalyptus is going to be great for you. Thieves oil, really, because everything that's in it is antimicrobial, antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral. So you can't go wrong with that. And that's why it helped them stay alive during the bubonic plague. Excuse me, because it had all those properties.
Believe it, for sure. I know another interesting herb thing that I remember coming across looking, having some Germanic ancestry. Of course, I looked into sausage, like sage. That word sage is in there. I was really curious about it. And selling herbs, growing them, I was having a lot of sausage makers asking me for bulk sage. So I'm happy when somebody wants to buy 3 pounds of something, right? But I found out traditional recipes that people would have been eating 600-700 years ago when they were still indigenous tribes of people, 1,000 years ago in Europe. They were putting sage into their meat recipes because sage helps you digest meat. And traditional recipes would probably be between 40 and 50% sage to meat, where modern recipes might be like 3%. Like they can say they put sage in it or something. I don't know.
3% tops.
Yeah. So that's a huge 40%? Difference. That's a huge difference. Yeah.
That is a tremendous difference, but it is making me think about ancient food ways and our modern and current food ways. And it's making me think about wheat because, as you know, I suffer from this ridiculous, debilitating celiac disease. Mm-hmm. But I'm thinking about it along those lines, about the wheat along those lines. And
the glutination.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking, like, I wonder what herbs they used with the wheat to make it more digestible.
Well, a big thing with wheat's been selected in the last 100 years through industrial revelation. These words, they slip, they tell me what to say. But yeah, they've been, selecting them not for the health of people for the last 100 years, but for the ease of the machine to harvest it. And so if you look at pictures of wheat 150 years ago in paintings or pictures, it's 5-6 feet tall.
Yeah.
If you see a field of wheat now, it's 2 feet tall.
Well, that's
because it's easier for the machine to harvest.
They're using hard red wheat now, and that is 98% of the wheat in the United States is GMO'd. And I'm sorry, I'm just
it's okay. It's
I'm full of worthless knowledge, but it is GMO'd, and so we can't digest it, and
it's real knowledge. I mean,
and especially in communities of color, a lot of people have intestinal issues, GI issues, and they don't know why. And it is the wheat. Mm-hmm. It is the wheat. The obesity that you see in a lot of African American women, it is not obesity. It is bloating from the wheat.
Mm-hmm. Inflammation.
It is, and I'm telling you because that happened to me.
Wow. Okay.
I weigh 198 now. My top weight was...
You look great.
Thank you. My top weight was 268. What? I felt amazing. I thought I was the it girl at that weight. And so when I started losing weight and going through making these changes with this wheat, rye, barley, and oats. And I lost all that weight. I asked my doctor, like, when am I going to gain my weight back? And he's like, this is your natural body weight, ma'am.
Yeah, you're back
you were bloated.
Yeah, you're back to real zone.
Yeah, and I was like, what? He was like, that was bloat. That was bloat. And it just, that really rocked me, Andy. I was like,
yeah, that's
wow.
not going to float.
No, so I had
So you've been pretty clear of gluten for a while now? Or?
Yeah, for a few years.
Cool. Was it hard at first?
Yeah, because you miss beer.
Beer, okay.
You miss beer. You
Pizza. I guess
pizza,
there's more.
crackers, cookies. No wheat, rye, barley, or oats. So I miss oatmeal. If it doesn't say gluten-free protocol, I'm not going to eat it.
Because oatmeal has gluten, not as much as wheat, but...
They're processed together sometimes.
Gotcha.
The oats and the wheat are sometimes processed together.
See, I'm such a different person. I'm sitting here thinking about how in my refrigerator at home, I got like a 3-gallon bag full of oats that a friend of mine grew and gave to me.
So nice.
So, I mean, they just look like, they're off the plant.
Raw oats.
Yeah, and I'll grind them up in my Vitamix into a flour and make stuff with them.
So nice.
Or make like a oatmeal kind of porridge with them and put my dried berries and stuff in it. But, yeah, when you start going shopping, that's like when things get different.
It gets really different. And so now... I really miss oatmeal, but I will do a porridge, and I'll do it out of a very, very fine grain cornmeal, a Jamaican cornmeal, and I'll use that, and I'll do a little bit of almond milk or cashew milk, a little bit of coconut cream. I'll throw a little bit of date it's date syrup. I'll put a little date syrup in it.
Nice.
And just spice it up a little bit, add some fruit, make it nice for myself. But I miss certain things. But you don't miss what they do to your body. Like most of us cannot digest this wheat properly. So just be informed, folks. Yeah. It is not good for you. And so I used to hear people say they were gluten-free, and I'd be like, they just don't want to eat bread. That is literally what I would say.
So for me, I've noticed... it's like a seasonal thing. And, the typical allergy seasons people have when, like, the ragweeds are going off, or in the spring, there's, like, a time period when all the grasses have pollen coming off of them.
Oh, for sure.
I get all clogged up. And if I touch a piece of gluten, I get clogged up more. Yeah. But if I'm just, like, eating more seasonally, like, in the wintertime, I feel like my digestion can... work on it a little bit differently than it does in the spring or the fall when there's all these other things, and the gluten, it like sticks in me. And I don't know, it's just really interesting watching how things work in different seasons.
That's true. That is so true, because you have to look at it based on the sunlight and the moonlight, which dictates our bodies so much. So you have more sun exposure in the warmer months. So that gives your body more time to process your food. And to digest the food. You're not sleeping as much because the sun is out. Hey, we want to go to concerts and festivals and be outside. And then in the summer, in the wintertime, in the fall, well, your digestion slows down a bit because the sun isn't out. You're not getting recharged as much. You may not be exercising and moving your body as much.
Right.
The sun isn't out as much, and you're going to bed earlier, so your body's shutting down more, and you're sleeping more. So those things, they aid and they prevent digestion. So
right.
But it is so
and
good.
They
to
call
be
for different things too, right?
They do. Yeah. They do. Like for me, in the colder months, I eat lots of tubers. So I eat just lots of tubers. I don't know. I've always been
root down. Yeah.
I
Get
love
to
that.
The roots.
Get to the root of the matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I eat lots of tubers. I'll do a tuber bake, I love that.
I love that name for it even.
A tuber bake.
Tuber bake.
Yeah.
That's a cool name.
Like, yeah, I'll do some carrots and some squash, and then I'll do, I don't know, something else sometimes. It just depends on how I'm feeling, whatever the food dictates.
Yeah.
And, which is funny because even though the herbs dictate certain things, whenever I'm cooking, the herbs are usually the same.
What do you mean? Like
so like I have
recipes that you flow with?
So like my staples are going to always be onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, white pepper, red pepper. Always. Whatever I'm cooking is going to have that in it. I don't
So you make like a mix of them, or you?
I
like
don't know. It just
custom each time.
I customize it each time. It'll tell me. Because I layer it differently. So if I am making something that is very leafy, then I will put the onion on the bottom. So I'll start with the onion powder and then incorporate everything else. Nice. Because I feel like the onion needs to go with those leaves, that taste, that flavor. So yeah, it's just funny because I use the same base, and I'll do add-ons. So I'll do some Mediterranean seasoning, some curry here and there. It just depends, but I always use the same base.
Nice. Yeah.
Which the white pepper and the red pepper are, again, to break up that mucus and that inflammation in your body. So I cook thoughtfully too.
Cool. Yeah. It's good to tune in and feel and flow with it. I've been getting to do that a bit more again. My house, I didn't have a kitchen sink since July until about January.
Oh my gosh.
So, I was able to get around to getting that finished up, and it's like, yay, I can use my kitchen and like prepare real food without washing my dishes in the utility room or something, and just it's all there, and I can got my jars. I'm starting to get those more organized, so I can really, I don't know, it's challenging, when you're instinctually moving and a plant's talking to you, but then you can't find your jar of it. You find it 3 days later, like, okay, there it was.
That happened to me like 2 weeks ago. I had a whole bag of stuff missing, and it made me shut down because I was like, everything in this bag I need. Yeah. It had like black seed powder in it, which I really needed. It had chaga mushroom, lion's mane mushroom, all powders. And I just tapped out and was like, okay, won't be in the lab this week.
Yeah.
Not till I get it. And then it just presented itself. It just materialized, yeah.
Calls it back, yeah.
Yeah. And so those things are pretty cool to me right now. Black seed is my other love right now.
I was going to ask you about black seed.
Black cumin seed.
Black cumin seed.
Yes, is fantastic. It gets rid of inflammation. It breaks up all that mucus in your body. It lowers cholesterol. It helps blood sugar. It helps arthritis. It helps with muscle pain and joint pain. It is just an all-around good guy.
Yeah.
It is an all-around good guy. And what I like about it is it's something that you can do effortlessly. Like a lot of people like the black seed oil, which I make, and I love that. But for myself, I take the capsules every day. I make my own capsules. Cool. And I take I take 4 a day. And
just of that one.
That's true. Like, I take 1 million a day. But of the black seed, I take 4. The turmeric, I take 4. The lion's mane, I take 5. 1 beetroot, I take 4 spirulina, I take 3 chlorella. I take quite a few.
That's cool.
I take quite a few, but I'm
and
old.
You make them. You have your own little capsule making machine.
I do it by hand. I don't like the machine. I bought the machine and I hated it. So I do it by hand.
Like where you load 100 of them.
Yeah, and then
pop it.
Yeah,
they all come out.
It just all comes out. Yeah, I didn't like it. I feel like for me, with certain things, like I wash my hands 3 million times a day because when I'm making herbs, I don't use gloves. Mm-hmm. Please know that, guys. I don't use gloves when I'm working with the herbs. So I will continually wash my hands, and I'm very clean, and I'll sanitize. But the herbs, I have to be able to touch them with my bare skin. I have to, because the herbs communicate. And so I have to be able to feel it and touch it. And I know it sounds bizarre, but
hey, it's not bizarre. And there's like super positive things, like we won't get rubber glove chunks coming off into the herbs. You know what I mean?
We don't want that in anything in our products. We just don't want that. We want everything to be all natural. And so
we get enough plastic in our food already. Right?
So yeah, I do really good with the sanitizing my hands, and I use Dr. Bronner's and a couple other ones, and just make sure that I'm really nice and clean. But I don't like it when I can't feel the herbs directly. Yeah. It's like there's a barrier between us.
It's like me working with the earth, and you know, our listeners can't tell, but right now I have stigmata.
Yes.
Like from operating some shears out in the gardens after it was raining and everything was kind of damp, and they rubbed on my hands for so long, but I love the way it feels. I need to go take care of these hands. You're like looking for some salve. I'm feeling right now because these hands are looking so beat up from not wearing gloves. But
actually,
I like feeling the soil.
Here, is there some in here?
Like feeling the temperature.
You can have this one. You can have that one.
That one smells really good.
It is a cocoa butter base, pure African cocoa butter. But if you look on the bottom, there's black seed.
Okay,
so there's black seed oil and black seed, natural black seed. So.
It smells so good.
Yes, keep that.
I put on. Are these the same?
Yeah, they're both cocoa butter based.
Oh my god, this smells so good.
This one is a little bit different.
Like cocoa, like chocolate.
Yeah, like cocoa butter. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it is one of my favorite things.
Oh,
so just use it on there, and it'll give you some relief. And so it is ultimately my dream to have a homestead where I can run an apothecary, pretty much the way a doctor runs urgent care, and help people. That's what I want to do. I think that it's important for people to know how valuable herbs are and minerals and vitamins and how vital they are to our survival as human beings.
Yeah.
It's just like you have to know this stuff, guys.
Yo, wake the farm up.
Same.
Yes.
They like that. Wow. I love talking with you, Kie. I can't even believe. I feel like we just got started, and I just looked at our timer, friend, and they said we've been doing this for 45 minutes. I'm blown away. We're just like so, like vibing on this convo, like flow. Like there's so much to share. Yeah, I'm so inspired. I definitely want to hang out with you and do more recordings with you. I don't want to like try to squeeze everything in this like little hour here. I hope you'll come back and share with our audience. You know,
I would love to. Your audience is awesome, and so are you. And we have such a good vibe going on. Like the energy is so dynamic. It's really a positive, uplifting experience. So I'm happy to come anytime you guys will have me.
Yeah, I appreciate you so much. So we you know, just like some fun summaries. Like we've gotten into, you know, Life Everlasting plant with the rabbit tobacco. We really explored oregano for a minute. We got into thieves oil for a bit. I wrote down tuber bake. I love the tuber bake. You know, it's like I love like when friends call roots tubers too. Do you? It's just something about it. It's like you're earthy. You're calling it a tuber.
Yeah. Well, I have by trade, I'm a cultural anthropologist. Wow. So my background is in hard science. Also, you know, the humanities, but hard
anthropology,
science.
That's cultural anthropology. Have you looked into ethnobotany much? A little bit.
I love botany. That was one of my favorites. What I liked about botany is all the plants and trees. Everybody had a personality. It gave personality to things that you see every day and walk past. So I love that. And just the inner workings of plants are just whoa. Mm-hmm. So I love that. I love botany. But as far as the sciences are concerned, I love them all. Yeah, I love them all. And it's funny when I see how they work in my craft. And I'm looking at percentages and I'm looking at ratios, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're such a scientist, even when you're trying not to be. But I think the last thing I want to talk about really quickly is, you guys, black seed is a healer. If you have access to it, I recommend taking it daily just to break up that inflammation, to keep the dis-ease out of your body, to make you more at ease, and to revitalize you. It's really it's a lifesaver.
Black seed. Dig it. Yeah, there was a band I once knew in Cincinnati called Black Seed, and they've grown and evolved into some pretty cool, amazing things like Tribe.
Really?
Yeah, what's our Siri Imani? It's kind of a popular Cincinnati crew, but their original band was called Black Seed.
I kind of feel like I saw them in Clifton somewhere. Like I saw something with them on it before.
Yeah. I don't. So black seed is a type of cumin?
It is. It's black cumin seed.
Okay.
And so Don't go to a health food store and get it.
Yeah.
Do not go there. Go to an Indian market, and it'll be about $3 for a bottle.
Yeah.
If you go to a health food store, they're gonna charge you out the nose.
And they went and bought it from the Indian store.
Correct, in bulk probably.
Yeah.
Like, so no. Go to an Indian market if you can. If you go to Jungle Gyms, you can go to their Indian section and find it.
Cool.
But if you go to the health and wellness, like the herbal section, it's $1 million. So I've done the math.
Same store.
It's same store, same product.
Right.
But it's just it's labeling and marketing and capitalism. So.
Right. I remember like 20 years ago when people were finding out about goji berries, they were really expensive, like in all the little circles I knew. But I remember going into Chinatown, I think it was in Chicago, and finding them for like $1.50 a pound, dried, and I'm like, okay, let's try this out. And yeah, they're great. They tasted the same. I imagine, organic, but who knows? They didn't say that, and I guess that once you get that little extra label on there, like there's some kind of validation or something where they came from, but not always anymore.
Nope, that's the scary part.
Yeah,
that's
they can slip a little organic sticker in the shipping department somehow, and
trick us.
All these things get shipped around. I mean, people are raising chickens, sending them to China to be processed and then shipped back to us. I mean, it's a lot of stuff moving around.
Moving and shaking.
So much. So.
That's why I think it's so important to know who, at least, if you can, know where your food comes from. Mm-hmm. Who is your grower or one of your growers?
Or even, like, if you don't know where to start out with one thing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a dandelion leaf in your yard and you're eating one of those. You're going to get some information from that, and even your own momentum will be excited, and then you're going to go learn about chickweed or some of these other little friends that are just popping up around you. Yeah.
I think that these plants are encoded in our DNA, and once we reintroduce them, it opens our eyes, so to speak, and it makes you go in the direction of nature. Mm-hmm. It makes you lean toward nature more and pull away from technology and industrialism and just all of the things that have plagued our world and kind of muddied the waters, so to speak. And so I think it's important that, every once in a while, take your shoes off and put your feet in the soil, touch the grass, hug a tree, eat a flower.
And support your local herbalists.
Yes, and your local farmers. Yes, for sure.
Yeah, learn things from each other, share things from each other, and we'll all keep growing a little bit more and remembering these things and reconnecting. And it's something I've kind of seen is like, this is a whole other topic, I guess, but like that connection of nature, as it goes away for people, our ability to connect to each other starts going away. And then you have more problems between people. People are quicker to like jump on things like, what do like, look out for myself, like I got to look out for me.
Oh, individualism as opposed to communalism.
I mean, there's kind of like the autonomy, is important, like we've discussed that before, like I don't need like to receive validation from all the other things, but I was mentioning it feels good to get validation from the community, but at the same time it's like finding our individual unique self in the big picture though. Like how am I in my unique way myself connected to this bigger ecosystem and doing what I'm supposed to do for the whole thing, not so much like I'm going to disconnect from it all so I can
just do me. I think that's a valid point though, because everything is connected to source, to the universe. Like everything is connected and interconnected as well. So when you remove yourself from it and say, hey, I've got a good view of who I am, and I know that I'm me, and I know that what my purpose is, I'm here to be a farmer or to be an herbalist and to help humanity. When you can put the you to the side and look at the us, it's so much better. Yeah. It is so much better. It just makes us all thrive, and that interconnectedness you can feel that, and there are love raised and love and light, and then other people look at you and other people around you, and they feel that, and they're like, wow, what is that? I want that. And it just spreads like wildfire, and then the next thing you know, you have a bunch of natural happy people.
Yeah, just like little moments of connection. Like earlier, you guys were listening to us. I was talking about how beat up my hands are, and just like that, Kie pulls out a salve and hands it to me and says, I'd like for you to have that. That's community. That's people looking out for each other. That's plants working their way into it too. It's more than just the two of us. Like she handed me a little salve that has a whole bunch of friends and her energy in it. It's amazing. That's so much. You can't buy that.
Right.
You can't.
It's infused with my energy, the well-being that I...
Well, people can buy your product.
They can.
Re-say that, but like the whole experience.
You can't buy the experience, Andy. No, you can't, because it's energy, and it's high vibrations, and it's love and light. I am so on this love and light thing, because love and light are the basis of everything. The basis of everything that you want to be positive, love and light. And so that's my thing for 2024 is love and light. We should all walk in it and live in love and light, because you want to be a light to others, and you want others to be a light to you, and you want to be loved, but you also want to share love and spread it. And so love and light, I think.
Love and light. Yeah. What do you guys all think of love and light? Yeah? Okay. Well, take that with you and let's keep rolling. Let's share it around. Hold yourself in the love and light. Hold your friends and family in the love and light. Hold your enemies in the love and light and wish them well. And, don't let them drain you of your energy anymore. That's really cool. Check that out. Thank you so much for being here. This is so fun. I really feel like this is, we're going to do more cool stuff with Kie.
Thank you so much, you guys, for having me. It has been a blast. Like, I am totally in my element here, and so I'll be back anytime you guys will have me. Thank you.
Wake the farm up. You can write it down, but this is a fresh sound coming to you.
Yeah, drip drops, hair raindrops. These drip drops tick tock like clocks, cosmos in my mind. Seems I've got my feet on the ground, and this is my life. Come on to the river, so it seems. Let the spring raise your hair. Raindrops like tick tock again. Yes, I'm sinking. Lord, I'm sinking. Almonds and go forage in the woods.
Pick it up now. Put it in the basket. You don't have stuff to ask it. You talk to it. Be like, what's up? You coming with me? You coming with me? You say, yeah, what's up? Let's go. You tell me, man, you gonna make me a little muffin, maybe a pancake. Let's skip it up on all the bread all that time. I gotta go dance and get out my fiddle, huh? Hey!
Tick-tock, I raindrop. Feed your soul with the spring. My path is tributaries unknown. Hell, like the wise turtle rising up in the fall to the spring, keeping it warm so we could live on at sea. Hell now, river, you don't.
What you say?
try something like that. You're perfect. I wasn't timed right.
Yeah, you're perfect too, dude. It was time, like, you know, everything's timed just right, and even cut in there for like a little breather second. It's cool. I'm ever flowing, trying to figure out. I'm like, oh, here's the one sound that says it's called warm rain. I'm like, it's raining. Cool. Let's see what that does. It sounds so cool. It's like we're going to whole new worlds just by trying new things in the middle of doing patterns of things that are similar to things that we've done before, like play a guitar, or, you know, you can imagine.
I was thinking about that this whole fucking time, actually. It's like all the different ways you can learn while playing with someone. Because essentially you're like wrapping yourselves around each other's sound.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's always just so perfect. Oh shit, did I lose my guitar? This is just so clean. It's so nice. It's so good to hear this right now. Oof. Sorry, just getting really sweaty.
I'm dancing.
Those earthlings have come to take you to the stars. Visit our quadrants and our sectors. Energize.
Don't just stand at alert, be at alert. Don't just alert, be at alert. Alert! Alert! Don't be at alert! Don't be at alert! Someone should try to voice it. He wasn't even there. Because if he was there, then there might not have even been anything there.
Tinker toys, reefer heads on spaceship vibrating engines.
Look at all the elves dancing! Oh my goodness, this place is getting crazy! Don't step on my garden, please! Oh, come on, okay, don't eat all the chives. I know chives with almonds are good.
Someone keeps eating the lily tips. Did you just see them swallow food down that rope through the trees? Mother, proceed your heartbeat. Mother, beat your heartbeat. From your sacred bones that you have given me. The sweetest amount of your energy. Sweet appeal to your mother's heart, misty morning falls down. Oh, sweet to your mother, yeah, misty morning falls down. Hey, oh, to your mother, sweet misty morning falls by. Oh, to your sister, sweet morning falls by. Rain, misty morning falls like rain.
What did that?
Oh,
What does it do that? Look at that.
Hey, so do you want to record now? I think we're probably ready.